Hello, I'm Simon Buck and welcome to my business tip series. So today we're going to talk about the 4 stages of learning. Now, the best thing to do is perhaps cast your mind back to when you first started something new, and that every time we go through a new challenge, it can really kind of play with our mind. So we're going to talk through a little bit about how to understand it, how to break it down, so that we understand better how it impacts us, but also how it impacts those around us when we try something new. So let's use the analogy of when we learnt to drive a car. So we can all probably recall back to that moment when we thought about our freedom, what life was going to look like when we'd learnt to drive. But however, we didn't know what we didn't know until, ironically, we got in the car. So when we first got in, we were in this wonderful place of unconscious incompetence. It's a lovely place to be, blissfully unaware, not knowing what we don't know. However, as soon as we sit behind the wheel and we first start out on our training together with our driving instructor, we instantly become consciously incompetent. Crikey, this is going to be much more difficult than I was anticipating. All the things I'm going to have to learn. I'd seen other people do it and I thought it looked easy. And this is the point where an awful lot of people give up. So they get to the consciously incompetent place and they all of a sudden realise it's going to be much, much harder than they thought. And this is where people retract back. Was it easier to stay where I was? Do I really need to do this? Now, for many people, learning to drive a car is one of those driving motivators. You need to be able to get there. You need the freedom, the flexibility that it's going to bring. So there's a great end game. So then you break through and you can drive, but you really have to think about it. So you become to this consciously competent state. Now this is an interesting one because it's where we learn the process, we learn the procedure, we learn the things that we have to know in order to be able to get from point A to point B. Now eventually we do it so many times that the muscle triggers and the memories, etc., they just fall into place and we get to this place where we are unconsciously competent. It's the place where you can pull up on your driveway and you don't even know where the last 15 minutes have gone. Now think about this and how this applies to business. When we first start off, we try something new, we're in this kind of unconsciously incompetent place. New staff members, people learning, people coming to our business. Then we get to the consciously incompetent place. We get nervous, we get unsure about what the future is going to bring. Easy place to give up. Conscious competence, following the system, following the process, doing the things that we know therefore we should do. However, there is a danger potentially when we become unconsciously competent. Unconsciously competent, we do get to the point where you can start to get a bit lax. You can start to get so familiar with something you don't actually know how to communicate it to anybody else. So that's the 4 stages of learning, and understanding them will help not only in your own personal development, perhaps of those of your team, and perhaps identifying where they are on their journey might help you be able to give them better support. Thanks very much.